Hello and welcome to the Let's Beat It Together podcast with me, John Jaguar, and Luke Yogzola. Say hello to the crowd.
How's it going, folks at home?
Alright, so today, I don't know if you've heard, if any of you have heard, but we have some Smash news we want to talk about.
You probably haven't heard this news anywhere else, coming fresh off the Toad Press.
No, yeah, Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct today. They said it was the last Smash Bros. Presentation, and we got it here for you. We're gonna talk about it while it's fresh on your minds.
That's right, folks. We got some special Smash Brothers news for you today. We've got a few new characters that have been announced, and also some sad news because there won't be any more. These will be the last two characters coming out, to my understanding. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. These are going to be the last characters, at least according to Nintendo right now. There's not going to be any more. And, that's disappointing for some people, especially when you have like 800 Fire Emblem characters. I don't know how many more Fire Emblem characters you could possibly add to this game with their little swords, twirl them around, their spell books and stuff. And I hate those spell books. Robin with that damn spell book, throwing it into the air, hitting me on the head with it. I can't even see it coming, and all of a sudden it just bonks me on the head, and it frustrates me.
Only one of them has spell books in the entire game. If you want to make a point for guys using swords, then there you go. That's a fine point. But I watched the new trailer for the Fire Emblem character, and I thought, oh boy, here comes another sword guy. But then he transforms into dragons and stuff, and he shoots out like big lances, and he seems to be some kind of an endomorph, quite different from the previous Fire Emblem characters. So I'm not going to pass my judgment on this one just yet. He seems like he could be a little different, maybe even interesting, as compared to the clones, Roy, Marth, Lucena, which is really the trifecta of just the clones. Ike is different. I like Ike.
Robin
like different.
Is different. He's just fatter and heavier.
Oh, his entire moveset is different from theirs.
Okay, he's different.
He holds a sword, but his entire moveset is different.
He's got the counter.
Yeah, that's the only similarity is the counter, which I believe the new guy has as well.
He swings his sword around in the air. That's what they all do.
They all do hold swords. Yes, that's correct.
Every sword character pretty much does that. I think it's safe to say, isn't it?
No, you're correct. You won. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. If you have a sword character, they gotta swing the sword around in the air. But can you answer a question for me? Maybe you can because you're more familiar with the Fire Emblem universe. But I'm curious because I think, do the Fire Emblem characters have a default gender for each of their characters, like one that's like canon? Because I know Robin is supposed to have a boyfriend, right? She has a boyfriend that flies in Smash with her final Smash, her final Smash attack. I'm assuming that's her boyfriend, right?
Not a boyfriend.
Is Corrin a woman or a man primarily? What is canon?
There's no canon on that. We'll see what Fire Emblem did is all the way up until Radiant Dawn. The last series with a canon character as the main character was Ike. And then they released Fire Emblem Awakening and then Fire Emblem Fates, which allowed you to have in Awakening you had your tactician. It was kind of your avatar of you as the player, and that could be either gender. And then they want to take it a step further for Fates, and they made it so that the main protagonist, who is classically referred to as a lord in the Fire Emblem series, you could also switch to the gender of that character. Which then resulted in the character not really being a character anymore. It's kind of just an avatar at this point.
Okay. Well, see, because I got confused. I will admit to you that I got confused, and I'll tell you why. Because I saw the female version of the character first, and then I was watching the video, the trailer, and I was looking, and the male version is still very feminine looking, very, tight outfit, and, so I got confused because then I saw a close up, or I heard the voice actor, and it was a guy, and my brain kind of lost it fried for a second, and I don't know. It confused me and it upset me, and that's where we are today. I just don't like that.
You don't like that you can switch the genders of the character?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's. I think that's stupid. Just pick a gender. I don't. Why do you have to do that? Why do you have to cheapen a character by saying, "Well, it could be either"?
I feel like that in doing that, it makes it so it's not really a character anymore. Like every other lord in this Fire Emblem series, like Ike, for instance. Ike is a character. You know who Ike is because of the character of Ike. But when it comes to any of the other ones, when it's one gender or the other, it just changes their identity a lot. It sounds weird because it shouldn't. It's 100% aesthetic in changing a gender, but it makes the character not feel cemented as a character. It feels more like an avatar where if I think back on the Fire Emblem games and the protagonist, I'm not going to have this fresh image of the protagonist in my head anymore because there isn't one that's concreted. It's like, oh, it's either this or this. It's two different faces for one
Yeah,
character, which doesn't really work for me.
and there's not a Marth female counterpart. Is there a Roy
No, there's
or
nothing on
Ike?
that.
So
No.
they haven't always done this.
It was an invention in the last two games on
Is
the
it a-
3DS.
Is it an invention of the year 2015?
I believe it was released in 2014, as a matter of fact.
Well, this general time period. I mean, just we have to, and I don't want to get into that right now, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm getting at a little bit. Like, there's a lot of sensitivity towards gender right now, and I think like I don't care. If you want more female characters in games, like if you want more strong, interesting female characters in games, then that's fine. Add more characters that are female, but don't blur the lines.
I can understand the approach of saying I would like to make a male. Like if you're a girl, you'd like to maybe play a female character, and if you're a male, you might like to play a male character. That's fine, and I can understand that entirely. And there's always been more male characters generally as protagonists
So
than female
split them
characters.
up and make them two different characters. Unless you're just saying that takes too much work for the story to write the story.
What I think they should do, and they've had female protagonists in Fire Emblem in the past. Not many, but Lyn is one that comes to mind. But just every other game, if you want to be mindful of gender, just switch the gender of the protagonist every other game. So last game it was a guy, and next game it's a girl, and we just keep going back and forth.
Yeah.
Then we have an even mix.
That
And
makes
then we
sense.
actually have concreted characters that you can think back on and be like, oh, that's who that is, as opposed to some blurred line because gender is applied to both equally.
I have known people in the past who very specifically don't want to play a game unless it's a female character or a male character.
Well, those people are stupid as hell. They're dumb as rocks.
I
That's
agree.
a dumb way to approach something.
I don't know if I'd say they're dumb as rocks, but I
would say they're dumb as rocks, John.
If you can't create an attachment to a character because of the gender, then I don't understand that personally. That's just I don't get it.
Well, that's because you're not dumb as rocks like these people.
Well,
Did not want to play a game just because of the gender, and whether it be the gender or the color of the skin or anything, like, it doesn't make any sense. Why does it matter that much? I can understand having a preference, absolutely. I, for one, usually play as male characters. I'm a male. I can relate to a male character more. It allows me to insert myself in that way and be more immersed in the game through playing a male character.
Right.
Regardless of how big or small the character is, I might be playing a giant guy with big bulging muscles. That's not what I look like, but it's still a dude. He's got a cock dangling between his legs. I can sympathize with him a little bit. I can get inside his head. Whereas a female character is a whole different set of chemicals in those brains over there. I can't get into it as much, but
Right.
it's not gonna stop me from playing it. I'll play some Tomb Raider all day.
Okay, well, we haven't really. We should probably say this. We're assuming here at multitoad.com that you already know what the three characters are if you're listening to this. But the new characters are Cloud, Corin, and Bayonetta. So, what do you think of Bayonetta? I
think
never
she's
played
a
those
babe.
games before. She obviously, yeah, she's really hot. But that doesn't have anything to do with this.
Well, everyone always thinks about who's the number one Smash waifu, and I think Bayonetta's coming in here.
Yeah, she just
and
crashed in and was like, "What's up?"
she's giving everyone a run for their money. And not only does she bring an element, she brings an element of sexiness that has not existed in any of the other Smash characters. She's by far the sexiest Smash character to hit the scene so far. You don't have to agree that she's the most attractive one or the hottest one, if you will, but she's got by far the most sex appeal. You see those leather legs she's got on? She's wearing some leather boots, I think.
Yeah, she's basically, she looks like a dominatrix or something, like scary a little bit and like fierce, and the black leather outfits and stuff, and the weapons. It's, yeah. I mean, I see what you're getting at.
Now, if you looked at Bayonetta in the previous games that she's been in, her outfits are even more revealing. Now they toned it down a little bit for Smash because obviously it's a family-friendly game. They don't want to mix the pot too much, but
Okay,
she's
so
definitely a seductive character, and she was designed to be sexy.
right, and so she's also an interesting character, I think, because she has guns that are just guns. Like, you've seen guns in the past with Smash that are laser guns and such, but I don't recall any character that just straight up has, guns, like traditional guns that she's firing off there. You know what I mean?
Well, when I heard about
Maybe
Bayonetta being
Snake
introduced into Smash, no, Snake didn't have a gun; he had a bazooka,
Right.
Some kind of missile launcher, and I was a little bit concerned. It's gonna be some kind of campy character that it sits back with her gun shoot, but it doesn't seem that way at all. It seems like she wants to get in close, and all of the gun attacks are attached to like smash attacks or melee attacks, where she actually wants to hit them up close, and the bullets that fire from the particular attack are kind of just like a chain from the combo of like. I didn't see enough footage yet, but it doesn't seem that she's going to be like sitting back to shooting guns. She wants to get in close, it looks like, which is good because I don't like campy characters.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see what the professional players do with her, because she looks like she's got a ton of combo capabilities.
Yeah, if I'm looking at the videos, I'm seeing her as already having a whole lot of potential based on her combo abilities that she has. As long as she's got good options to kill, that can always be a problem. But sometimes it's not even a problem with a character as good as Sheik, for instance. She doesn't need to have that many great kill options because you can so safely rack up damage so quickly that you get something to 150%. Almost all your options are a kill option at that point.
Right. Now, we've known about Cloud for a long time now, quite some time. I think Cloud actually dropped tonight, didn't he?
Cloud came out tonight. I was watching some Twitch streams where people were showing off the new Cloud, and he seems pretty neat.
Well, you say that now. When your first impression, I remember, of Cloud was very negative. Oh, another sword. He looks like Ike. Seems pretty boring.
I think that there would have been far more interesting additions to the game. I still believe that, but I'm not disappointed looking at him. I feel like he does play similarly to a lot of the cast already, but he also seems like I could play him and have fun playing him. Maybe. I have to get my hands on him first.
Yeah, Smash Bros. Characters are like cars, in that you don't really know how they feel until you try them out. You test drive them.
Gotta give them a test drive.
You can look at a character and think, oh, that seems like they reflect on the way I like to play and my personality, but you can't really get a feel for them.
Because I remember
just by watching them.
When I heard Smash 4 was going to include Duck Hunt Dog, I thought, what a wonderful character. He's a little dog with a duck on his back. This character, he's adorable. I love the guy. I'd love to play him. And I was thinking, I'd love to learn how to get good at Duck Hunt Dog and play. But then, how he actually plays, now that's a different story. He plays like a little asshole. He just sits across the stage throwing frisbees around and kicking around cans of beans, putting down cowboys that shoot pistols at people. It's just the complete opposite of my playstyle. That I thought he was appealing, but then it turns out I hated his guts.
Yeah, the bushes, cans of baked beans. We're all eyes on those a lot. And I've seen a lot of good players, but I don't enjoy watching him play, and I don't like playing as him. You would think the way I played games in the past, I know you've complained that I play a little campy sometimes. You would think that I play with a lot of projectile characters. In the past, I would frustrate you using Falco. And I know you got really mad a couple times, threatened to beat me up. And that's where we are today, is I play a different character entirely. I play Bowser. And Bowser has very little approach options, but he has to go in because he doesn't have projectiles unless you're using customs.
So he doesn't have to go in when I play you because I don't play characters that can camp you out. I don't play any characters that can camp anybody out. I always play characters that have to go in. So it allows you to play defensively. I jump at you, you shield it, and you just grab, stuff like that. But I guess when you go online and you're playing people other than me, which you've had so much practice against, and you're like, you don't really have the practice to know how to get in on people because you never had to do that before. And that's one of Bowser's weaknesses, which didn't really come through against playing someone such as myself.
Yeah, but Bowser has a lot of weaknesses that are glaring against people that space a lot and try and play defensively.
I feel that's true of almost every heavy character, which is a shame.
Well, tell me why.
Like I like the heavy characters. I like to throw out moves that pack a punch and really knock my opponent's lights out. But my problem with the heavy characters in Smash Brothers is I feel that they all need. You could say they need better approach options, but the number one approach option is just run speed. And I find that heavy characters across the board lack move speed, and that hurts them a lot. They don't have a lot of aero mobility, they don't have a lot of ground mobility, and it's the lack of mobility that cripples them so much. So if you could like dash toward your opponent and fake him out with some like reverse pivots and stuff like that, then you might have some more options to approach. But you're very slow and predictable in how you're going to approach. You can't really fake your opponent out too much.
I think that the newest Smash game has quicker, heavier characters in general. I think they're a little bit faster in terms of the run speed. Maybe, at least Bowser, and I feel like Donkey Kong also has better run speed. Maybe not necessarily airspeed, definitely not airspeed, but they can get around a little bit faster. I feel like they're more mobile than they were in Brawl.
In Brawl, perhaps. Melee, I think most characters are just faster across the board. But even if they're faster in Smash
Melee,
4...
some characters were just lights out fast, though. Bowser can't do anything against a fox.
In Smash 4, you could say... I think they are mostly all faster than they were in Brawl, but they're still significantly less fast than characters that are actually fast, like Sonic, Sheik, or Captain Falcon, or anybody of the sort.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Well...
Well, you know something I had today?
What'd you have today?
I had some vegetable noodles. You ever had some of these?
Yeah, I think so, but not really. Not recently. I think I have in the past.
They're noodles made entirely out of vegetables.
Tastes
just like a regular noodle.
I've had zucchini noodles.
That's kind of this, yeah, it's the same premise. A lot of these noodles include zucchini in them, but they don't have to. You can have squash. Lots of healthy options for noodles, and you get, for every serving of noodles, it's a full serving of veggies. And I was blown away, because I tried some of these noodles with some garlic sauce on them, and they tasted just like regular spaghetti noodles. I couldn't believe it. Best part, a box of them was only like $1.50 at the Acme. So you can go ahead and get yourself healthy food options without breaking the bank. It looks like that's something that's starting to happen in our society, which is nice. Because previously, you couldn't get healthy options without paying twice as much as the unhealthy option.
Okay, well, they usually call that Veggetti. They call you can make Veggetti for yourself.
I don't like that word. I'm not going to say that.
Well, sometimes when I come home, I like to have a nice Veggetti meal. There are also, you don't even need to buy boxes of...
It sounds like you're pouring spaghetti over a woman's vagina and saying, I want to eat that Veggetti.
You could think of it that way, but I would say...
the first thing I think of. I think everyone hears vag right in there at first word.
Well, I don't personally. I think you might have just a dirty mind.
The moment you say Veggetti, people are going to be like, huh? What did he just say? And they're going to look over at you like you're some kind of pervert.
So you say you buy it in a box?
It comes in a box. You cook it up. You boil it.
Well, no, you're doing it all wrong, friend.
That's how you traditionally cook noodles. I don't know what you're talking about.
They make little gadgets. There's cheap plastic gadgets, little razor blades on them, and you grind the vegetable into them, and they create noodles.
So you're telling
they create
me
long noodle shapes. They make vegetable pasta. They make Veggetti pasta.
I don't want to spin my own noodles, John. I go to the grocery store to buy food that's easier to prepare.
But listen to me here. It's so much fresher and better.
You know this because
you just throw it in a pan.
There's
no boiling it. You just throw it in a pan after you've created the noodles with the device, and you just fry them up in the pan till they're soft, and that's it. You don't need to boil water and sit there forever waiting for the boiling water to start before you put your noodles in.
Yeah, I think a lot of our listeners are going to be disagreeing with you here because part of my lifestyle is things that are quick and easy, John. And when I want to have a snack, I don't want to have to take all this time preparing it, like cutting apart zucchinis, putting it through this vegetable blender, and spinning my own pasta. That's not what I want to spend my time doing. I want to get in, throw them in the pan, throw them in the pot, turn it to a boil, get out of there. 15, 20 minutes, come back, scoop it out of there, and then enjoy them. That takes my time and my involvement in doing this a couple of seconds. It can be less than a minute.
Folks at home, using the fresh produce will make it taste so much better, and I feel like you need to do this for yourself. And do it for me. Do it because Yogzola said not to.
Well, if you would like to treat yourself, I mean, I'm sure that it's gonna taste great if you spin your own pasta. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying it sounds like a lot of work. You want to make me some fresh noodles? Go right ahead. I'll let you do it, and I'll eat them, and I'll enjoy them. But I'm not doing it.
All right. So arguments about noodles aside, I want to ask you a question right now for the listeners. Who is your main of Smash? And tell me who your Smash main has been historically the most.
Well,
over the course of the games.
Well, let's think about this. And I never played a lot of Smash and Melee. When I played in Melee, kind of against my friends, I used to actually play Sheik. Sheik was good back in Melee. I kind of just liked the way she controlled as compared to other characters. And I never played seriously though, very casually. Back in N64 Smash, I believe I played mostly Kirby back then. I was a little boy, 8 or 9 years old. Maybe older than that. I don't remember how long ago that was. But that's what I played. I played Kirby, and then I played Sheik and Melee, but didn't really play a lot of Melee. Didn't really touch on that much. Then we went to Brawl, and in Brawl I played some DK, played some Wolf, and I think I would say that those were my mains in Brawl. I don't remember. I mean, I usually jump around a lot with characters.
Did it break your heart that Wolf was not included in this game, and that there were rumors of him coming back in this round of DLC, and that dream was shattered for you today?
I think that Wolf was an appropriate addition. I'm not now. I understand that Falco was in Smash 64.
No. Yes. I don't remember.
I'm gonna look this up. Falco. I don't think he was. I think he was added in Melee.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I don't think Falco was in the first game.
Because normally I'd give a pass. I mean, we could be wrong here, and correct us if we are. It's a distinct possibility. But anybody that gets grandfathered in from N64, those characters are never gonna not be in the game, right? They're always there. But I don't think Falco deserves his guaranteed spot in every single game, as opposed to somebody like Wolf. Because for the Star Fox games, Wolf has been in all of them, and he's like the main protagonist. And when it came to Brawl, or main antagonist, when it came to Brawl, Wolf played very differently than Fox and Falco did. He felt like he had a different moveset. He was a little bit heavier, but his moveset was entirely different, whereas Falco and Fox are kind of the same. But then they went to Smash 4, and they took Falco and Fox, which are still kind of the same, and brought those guys in together, and they just excluded Wolf entirely. I don't think that Falco has earned his forever Smash spot. And I think that Wolf deserved the spot instead of him. And I think that he should have been included as a DLC character. I don't know what it is about Nintendo and not including any of the antagonists from these games. I think the antagonists are great in a lot of these games, and they're just excluded way too frequently.
Well, you got Ganondorf.
You got Ganondorf. But where's King K. Rool? Everyone talks about how much they'd love to see him. He's a great character. He's a giant alligator who's what a unique and interesting character design this guy is. He's been the antagonist throughout all of Donkey Kong, and they just refuse to bring him in. They're adding characters like Greninja. Like who Smash was supposed to be a game about Smash icons or Nintendo icons. Pikachu, absolutely. Put him in the game.
Yeah, along the way,
Greninja, what?
I think they made it. He made it more about just what characters he felt like had the best movesets or potential movesets, and he thought, oh, Greninja would have cool moves. You know, it's a Pokemon that's. It's not an iconic Pokemon by any means. That's just a. And we like Greninja here at Multitoad because it's a a frog or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not. And I could see that. I could see that they're going to start adding characters based on who has the best options in terms of an interesting move set. And I think that Sakurai actually commented that King K. Rool wouldn't have an interesting move set, which I thought, I don't know about that. He's got a lot of weird gadgets and stuff that he's got. I'm sure he could have an interesting move set, but whatever. I think that's what he said, and he's not going to make it in the game if these are the last two characters announced. But I will say that Cloud he doesn't look that interesting. I mean, kind of generic compared to the rest of the cast. Very much the same as certain other characters. But I will say that Bayonetta and Corrine look very unique. I didn't think Corrine would be very unique, but she appears to be very unique. He appears, whatever, very unique because he like transforms a lot, like I said earlier, and it's very different from how the other Fire Emblem characters control. And Bayonetta looks like she brings an entirely new type of moveset to the game that is completely unlike anybody else. So
yeah, that the smash attacks she has are crazy looking. Those are so crazy. That's probably going to be so satisfying to use, especially that down smash that brings that fist down and smashes people who are, hanging off the ledge or trying to come back up, recover.
Yeah. Well, all those smashes,
that looks crazy.
They all summon gigantic demon limbs from like the underworld. It's crazy looking, and then she also has other moves where she like gets down on her, like starts breakdancing and shooting guns everywhere. And that apparently that's not a smash, since we think her whole smash moveset is the demon limbs. So I guess it's her tilts that cause her to shoot her guns, which is kind of crazy. She seems to have a very diverse moveset that's really, really unique and interesting as compared to the rest of the class.
Did you see? It's actually a really cool character design. She apparently brings those demon fists, those giant, I forget what demon they called it. She brings it in with her hair. She has her hair wrapped around these fists that come in and like punch things for you, which is nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah, she's a very cool character. I'm glad she's being added. I think there were other cool Nintendo characters that deserve to be added. And I'll tell you something right now. I'm gonna pull up the Smash Brothers roster. I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna tell you all the characters I think don't deserve to be in the game. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you. I'm looking at them now, and I'll tell you who I can think of. Game and Watch. He can off. I liked Game and Watch and Smash. Smash Brawl. He's a boring looking character. He's boring. His moveset's kind of cool, but he's just so boring to look at. Lucena can get the hell right out of here. She doesn't belong.
She's a weak character too.
She's a clone who's just a worse clone. It's like Pichu in Melee. Why?
You're just giving yourself a handicap compared to if you played with Marth. There's no reason to play Lucena. Some people might argue with me. I'm sure they would, but no, I don't think so.
And take your pick. Either get rid of Roy or get rid of Marth. I just don't like clone characters. Now, Marth and Roy do play significantly differently now. Well, not significantly, but they do play differently. But Lucena is just a clone of Marth with a different sweet spot, which is stupid. Toon Link can get out of here. He's another clone. Get lost. Dark Pit and Pit. Get rid of Dark Pit. What the hell is that doing in here? We got a limited number of slots, and Sakurai's being like, no, we're not going to add any more of these. Nobody like King K. Rool into the game. But we're going to keep Dark Pit made the cut because you're adding people because they have interesting move sets, Sakurai. So you're going to add clones constantly. What the fuck are you smoking?
To be fair, I don't play Pit or Dark Pit at all, but my understanding is from experience, I guess basic experience, is that they're pretty much mirror characters. Like, what's different about them?
There are some subtle differences for both of them. I know that.
The resources needed to make these characters are tiny then, so that you can kind of understand why they'd be like, well, we can throw him in, but we're not going to make King K. Rool. It takes a lot of time and money to make a new character, so if you see a mirror character, it's probably because it's less resources it takes less resources to churn those out.
Well, even as such, if you're he's not
So
saying
you're saying
that
just get rid of them. Who
Sakurai's
cares?
argument was not that it cost too many resources to add this character. It was that they wouldn't have an interesting enough moveset. That's what he was saying. And he said that multiple times, but he continually adds clone characters, and to me, that doesn't add up. Yes, what you're saying is true. It would cost less resources to do clone characters, but if his the way he determines who gets added and who doesn't is based on their movesets, he's got a long-standing history of adding characters with mirror clone movesets, and that's not interesting whatsoever.
No.
King K. Rool would be infinitely more interesting as a character than Lucena would be, or Toon Link would be, or Falco would be, as opposed to Fox or anybody like that.
Okay, continue.
Well, also, I'm characters. I'm not going to say delete the characters, but I'm going to say they didn't deserve to get in there in the first place. Lucario and Greninja, they're not iconic. They're just some random Pokemons. They don't belong.
Lucario has been there since Brawl, though.
Since that's one game ago, John. It's not like he was here since Smash 64.
Well, I'm just saying it makes more sense to include Lucario than it does to include Greninja out of nowhere when no one cares about. At least Lucario has a place.
Lucario was added out of nowhere when it came to Smash Brawl. You could have made the same exact argument. It was like, oh, it just came out of nowhere. It's Lucario. Who the hell is this? Because then, and Brawl, I remember thinking that. I remember seeing Lucario and thinking, who the hell is this guy? Why is he being added to the game?
The only Brawl kind of made Lucario recognizable to me. That's it. And, I didn't play enough of the Pokemon games at that point in my life to know who Lucario was.
You know what I will commend Sakurai for in terms of mirror characters and the way it should be done is Ness and Lucas. Ness and Lucas both play very differently. They do have some similar moves, but they're substantially different in the way they play now. But I suppose in Smash 4 you could make the same argument. Similar
mobility.
They do have similar mobility, but like they don't feel like clones. They're clearly the part of the same universe and this like the same kind of style, but they're not clones. And you could say the same about Falco and Fox, where Falco at this point, now in Melee they were very close to being clones, and in Brawl they were closer than they are now. The gap keeps getting a little bit wider between these characters, but they're different now, but still not different enough.
Okay.
Dr. Mario, same deal as before. Make that a costume for regular Mario. What the hell is he doing with his own character? You could do that with a lot of these guys, is make them costumes. Why not make Lucena an alternate costume for Marth and just have the name change? Like it's if it's completely aesthetic, why not just let it be completely
it's
aesthetic?
Not aesthetic. It's not completely aesthetic.
Well, they're obviously not
Dr. Mario shoots pills.
Well, you could
He doesn't shoot flames, you dingus, he shoots pills.
You could put the costume on and allow the costumes to cause minor changes like that. You're playing as the Dr. Mario, you're going to be shooting pills now instead. Easy.
I think it's a pretty big change.
Easy. Anyway, I'm ranting. I
don't know about that one.
And that's how I feel. I'm not pleased with the characters they've chosen to add and characters they've chosen not to add. And I've got a lot of words to say to Sakurai. All? You know what? That's not all. It's not. I'm going to go on a tangent about something else, and this is not about characters.
Okay.
This is about 2 versus 2 for glory mode. And I don't know why at this point, after how long has Smash 4 been out? Over a year. That for glory, 2 versus 2 is still timed with no stocks. And no friendly fire. It drives me crazy. The whole reason they added for Glorian was to allow people to play competitively against each other. Now, if you're going to set up a competitive environment, and they did it right with the 1 versus 1, the 2 stocks, they believe they have a time limit on there, even if they don't, whatever. They've got the right setting for the 1 versus 1 with the stocks. And then they go to 2 versus 2, and they're just like, no, we're not going to do the stocks. We're not going to put team... Like, I could get it if they didn't do team attack. I wouldn't be that mad if they didn't do team attack. But the fact that it's time and stocks...
If you did team attack, you'd probably have too many frustrated people or idiots like attacking you out of nowhere, I guess.
But at the same time, though, it is for glory. It's the competitive mode. And if you're going to make a mode and say this is the competitive mode that adheres to the competitive rules for Smash Bros., then make the rule set what the competitive rule set is. But even then, at the end of the day, if you don't want to put friendly fire on and for glory 2 versus 2, fine, I could live with that. But the fact that it's timed 2 minutes instead of stocks, that drives me crazy. That is so stupid. And the lack of friendly fire, and the reason why that is a big deal, is it allows for certain characters to just be really, really abusive. You're going to see a Link in For Glory 2 versus 2 every other game, spamming all his projectiles across the map, spamming smash attacks everywhere, not having to worry about where his opponent is. And this goes for a lot of characters that can really abuse 2 versus 2. And it just it sucks the fun out of it.
Okay, so could you ever see an argument for keeping it timed?
No. There's no good argument for keeping it timed in For Glory.
Yeah,
There's a great argument for keeping it timed in For Fun mode, which exists in the game. If you want to go play for fun, you don't want to play competitively, go play the mode that is for fun.
I've tried to play for fun before. I thought, you know what? I would like to have some fun today. I don't want to sit here sweating, playing For Glory mode, getting all heated, fired up. I can't do it. I don't find For Fun mode fun. First of all, you're going to play with a bunch of idiots. Generally, because they don't know how to play the game. If you go into For Fun mode, it's generally because you're not very good at the game. You just want to play online. You want to play the game, but you're not very good. So you get a lot of idiots playing the game. And also, I find that it's a wasteland of terrible connections. Like, I've never played a For Fun match online that didn't have lag in it.
Yeah, it's miserable. It's a nightmare, and I can't be bothered.
Just stay out of there. If you value your sanity, stay out of there. Okay? But is that all the characters that you don't like?
I'm sure there are others. Let me take another review here.
I mean, I would like to. I think this is an interesting thing to talk about because you kind of it's a polarizing discussion because a lot of people like these characters, but I don't. I hate most of them.
There are characters I don't like, such as Sonic, but I don't think that he should be removed, or I don't think that he should never have been added in the first place. I'm fine with him. Like, he's got a unique moveset, he controls in a unique way. I think he's annoying as hell, and he's annoying to watch, he's annoying to play against. I don't like him. But I'm fine with him being in the game. There are certain characters that I dislike. Let's get him at, like Shulk. Here's a character, Shulk. Why even add him in the first place? He's got an annoying voice. This damn Outback Steakhouse guy running around with his shirts off 90% of the time in these games, and he's just swinging around a sword that takes up half the stage. He's not the best character, but he's annoying to play against. He just is. He's just an annoying little fuckbird. I don't like him, and he can get out of here. His moveset is not particularly unique. He just carries around a big sword and smash attacks all over the place, and it's generic. All of his sword moves are generic. He doesn't bring a lot of unique things to the table. So he can get right out of here. I don't care for him at all. Get rid of him.
Okay.
Olimar, I love Olimar I don't love him as a character, but when Pikmin came out, I thought this game is
unique.
This game is adorable. The Pikmin, all this stuff, great. And Olimar, if they said we're gonna add him to Smash, I would have been like, oh, that sounds awesome. Let's get Olimar and some Pikmin in Smash. But the way that they've implemented him, I feel like he's such a boring character. His moveset is so boring. And it was boring in Brawl, and it was equally as boring in Smash 4. They did not change it at all. They just kept it the same way, where every one of your smashes just grabs a Pikmin and tosses it a short distance in the direction of the smash. The down smash, 2 little Pikmin to the side. Up smash, throw a little Pikmin up. Side smash, whack a little Pikmin to the right or left. All the aerials, forward air, take a little Pikmin and swing it. And the list goes on. Every single move is just taking a Pikmin and swinging it. Nothing interesting about them. All of his side special, just throwing Pikmin. He had potential to be an interesting character, and he just hasn't been. The potential wasn't met in Brawl. It wasn't met in Smash 4. He's very uninspired. He's an interesting character, and I love that about him, in terms of the character itself, not the way he's been implemented in Brawl, though. So, Villager is a great example of a character that really reaches potential of being very interesting and having a unique moveset.
So one character that was added this year that I think is pretty interesting and also sort of turned out the way I expected him to exactly is Mega Man. Mega Man, as soon as he was announced, I thought to myself that this guy is going to be a pain in the ass. He's going to be a projectile spamming little twerp. He's gonna be floaty. He's gonna give off that feel of like a retro video game where his movements are very, I don't know how to say it, geometrical or something. And he kind of is. He feels like light. He's decently high tier if you look at if you're going by those lists, but played by a lot of scrubs and super annoying. And I don't like him. Although it was an obvious choice to add him, very iconic character, just like Bomberman might be, I'd say.
Yeah, and I loved the Bomberman games as a kid, and I would love to see Bomberman added to Smash, but I know that he would be treated like a campy character, and for that reason, I wouldn't want him. He'd be very projectile based. I don't think he has to be inherently. He just has to use bombs. He doesn't have to throw the bombs around and place bombs and camp people out with bombs. But I think he could be cool. I like him as a character, but I would not vote for him just because I think he would be implemented in a way that would be shitty and annoying. But another character that people talked about was Banjo and Kazooie. I thought that Banjo and Kazooie, wow, what a great character. Very interesting character design. I mean, kind of similar to Duck Hunt Dog now that Duck Hunt Dog's in the game. But why not add him? And I'm not sure what Sakurai's reasoning for that was. Probably the same as King K. Rool, is that he's a damn idiot. Crystal from Star Fox, and there's a new Star Fox game coming out, which surprises me. I thought that Wolf was going to be added because there's a new Star Fox game coming out. Now, they've tried, Star Fox 64 was huge, everyone knows that, and then afterwards, with Star Fox Assault and all these other Star Fox games that have been getting added to this series have not done very well. That they haven't managed to make Star Fox as fun as it could be, and then they've kept trying and trying, and they've kept failing. And with a new Star Fox game coming out, I'm surprised Nintendo wasn't like, "Hey, Smash Boys, let's get Wolf back in the game. Let's try to hype up the new Star Fox game by adding Wolf or by adding Crystal, who's a new
yeah, it seems like an
protagonist."
obvious choice. And honestly, Wolf was pretty badass in Brawl. I thought he was a pretty cool character. I didn't like playing as him personally. He didn't really fit my style. I was more into Falco, but I think Wolf would be a great character to have in the game. I don't understand the reasoning for getting rid of him in the first place. His moveset was unique, and it varied from the other two Star Fox characters. And
Yeah.
I don't understand the decision to not include him. And I think a lot of people share your opinion that he should have been in this game. And you saw that when the ballot came out. I don't know if was Nintendo showing the official poll results?
No, they didn't show them because I'm sure it would have made people mad. I
And
think they just ignored a lot of the popular opinion.
Right, and they did show. I mean, they didn't show anything. But the Reddit Smashboard, the Smash Reddit, whatever you call it, I forget if it was Smashboard or the Smash Reddit. They did their own poll, and King K. Rool was way up there, but Bayonetta was up there. So I was glad to see that she at least got in there because I think that was a popular choice. But Wolf was in that ballot.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at that list right now, and what we have here is number one is Shantae, the Half Genie Hero. These are older games. It doesn't surprise me that she wasn't added because she has not been relevant for such a long time. She didn't really have like a big series that was popular the way like I could say King K. Rool should be added because Donkey Kong was hugely popular. Why not have King K. Rool, who was the main antagonist? It makes sense. He's more iconic than Shantae. Now Shantae probably would be cool, but she's not like iconic in any way. She's so old that it didn't surprise me that she's not added. But that was number one. Then it was Shovel Knight, which people are all about Shovel Knight, and he's not even a Nintendo character. Get off that horse. Like, why is everyone so hyped about Shovel Knight? He's not Nintendo. Lay off of it. He was number two. I'm not on board with that. Whatever. Number three, closely behind Shovel Knight, was Wolf. So a lot of people wanted Wolf back, but as we know, he didn't make it. And Isaac from Golden Sun was right behind him. Golden Sun was a fun game. I enjoyed it a lot when I first played it, and Isaac was the protagonist of that. He is a sword user, but he's got in Golden Sun, all the characters use elements, and they have things called Jin that represent certain elements. And Isaac was Venus, which was Earth, the element of Earth. So you'd have a lot of Earth-based attacks, like creating a fist out of the ground, like a big clay fist or stone fist that would come up and uppercut people, or make a meteor fall down on top of somebody, or cool shit like that. So it wouldn't have to be just a bunch of sword moves. It could be a lot of like elemental moves and that of that nature. And then after that, it was Snake. and Sora, Phoenix Wright, Banjo-Kazooie, Rayman, and Inklings. And then Bayonetta. Bayonetta was number 10 with 46 votes.
Yeah, I think in their official announcement, they claimed that Bayonetta was the number one choice if you combined her worldwide. And they said that in the US, she was somewhere in the top 5, which I would assume means that she was number 5. Because they wouldn't say.
Yeah, they would say top 3 if she was top 3.
Yeah, no. Exactly. Oh, top 2 or top 3 or something if they wanted to justify the choice.
People love doing that with statistics. They're like, oh, I went to one of the top 72 high schools in the country. What you're saying is you were number 72. Like, otherwise you're going to say top 50 or whatever. Like, you say that, you say the lowest thing that you can.
Right. So, I would say, I think you said to me a while back that King K. Rool, Sakurai mentioned that Sakurai, is that how you mentioned that King K. Rool it would not have an interesting moveset, and that's why he didn't want to add him. Is that what you told me?
No, that's my understanding. That's what I've heard.
And I just don't understand that, because think about Donkey Kong's moveset. Donkey Kong literally just uses his fist and pounds away at stuff. Literally, that's all he does. He kicks and rolls and stuff. He does nothing else. So how can you say that, oh, he just wouldn't have an interesting moveset? It doesn't need to be crazy stuff happening all the time.
It really comes down to how the character controls mechanically. How many frames does his aerials come out in?
Exactly.
A lot of smaller mechanical stuff. And that can range like across the board a whole lot. So it's a cop-out. I agree with you. I think that's a really poor excuse, especially given the fact that there's tons of clone characters in the game. But Bayonetta, like I said, looks incredibly interesting and unique. And even the new Fire Emblem character, Corrin. Is it Corrin or Corine? I'm not sure. I think I've been saying Corine. I haven't had a chance to play the new Fire Emblem game because I was so disappointed with Awakening that I didn't even bother. But he even seems interesting. Like, he doesn't seem like the regular sword guy. He transforms himself. I saw him shooting out, like, he turned his arm into like a big spear and like launched it out. It seemed to have quite a bit of range. A lot of his moves transform him into a dragon, where a lot of his smash attacks like transform his body. It looks pretty cool. I'm very interested in that character, and so we'll see how that turns out. I think they both look more interesting than Cloud did and does. So
cool. Yeah, that's awesome. So I think, Smash is looking good. I would say generally the state of Smash to me would be generally positive. I think there's plenty of room for improvement in the balance of the game and the way that heavy characters are just totally destroyed by your sheiks. But I feel like I'm pretty pleased with it. I call myself like a casual competitive player. I'm never going to play enough to be competitive with some of the best or to go to tournaments or anything. I just don't have the time for that. So I consider myself to be kind of casual competitive because I'm fine with playing a character that maybe doesn't have all the technical abilities to keep him in the high top tier list or anything like that. I just want to have fun with the game while being competitive and holding my own,
Yeah, well, I've never actually. Now, when I played Melee, and there's a little history of my interest in Smash. When I played N64 entirely for fun, Melee, I played entirely for fun. I didn't have enough friends that were good at the game. I beat my friends all the time. I was probably really bad at Melee, but I was way better than my friends. So I probably thought I was good at Melee, and I destroyed my friends, but they were all just terrible. Brawl, I didn't really play Brawl with a lot of people. I played Brawl with you and a few other people like around college campus, and most people were bad, so I felt like I was good at Brawl. Still, again, probably wasn't very good at it. And then Smash 4 came out, and I don't own a Wii U to actually play it, but I do have a chance to play it when I visit you, and I find that it's a lot of fun, and I would love to play it more competitively. I just need more time to learn the game,
sure,
and practice more.
Right.
And it's definitely something I can get into. I love the competitive nature of the game. I don't normally like fighting games that much, but Smash I make an exception for. And so I would love to play it more. I'm not sure if I would ever want to take it to like going to a tournament level. One partially because I'm just lazy. I don't feel like I know there's probably tournaments in Philadelphia that I'd have to drive to and like sit down with a bunch of nerds in a hot room and play Smash. But while that's probably fun, a lot of people would enjoy that. I'm lazy. I don't feel like getting in my car and driving out there just to do that.
Yeah, you probably have to involve beer or something like that for me to really enjoy that. And at that point, your skills diminish.
That's every time we play 2v2 online, we're drinking heavily, and every time we lose, we're just yelling at the screen. These nerds probably didn't even drink an ounce of liquor tonight. They're only winning because we're drunk.
Make the tag so drunk, and then they feel bad about it. They feel like they're not as good, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, that's
you make them feel bad with your tags, and then you get out.
Yeah, well, there have been. I think that was used on us first, where these other guys were like, "Oh, we're drunk right now." After we beat them, they changed their tags, and this is after we've been drinking for hours. So we were both down like 2 liters of wine each, and then we're like, "Oh, we got to make our tags to let them know that we're drunk as well right now." Like it's an even match, and they're still getting schooled.
Right. Now I want to back up for a second because you mentioned something I find pretty funny, and I think it's unique to Smash Bros. Because Smash Bros. Has a casual audience and a competitive audience, and a group that kind of mixes in between a little bit. But because they have people who are casually playing the game so much, because it's a Nintendo game and it generally started out as a party game, and people sort of made it competitive. You have the friend zone effect, where one person was secluded to his group of friends and he kicked their asses constantly. And so he just thought, "Oh, I'm really good at this game. And then he goes and plays against someone else. He gets bodied completely, and he is embarrassed. And I feel like this happens a lot.
I feel like that's common in Smash, is that people think they're better than they are. If you're better than your friends at Smash, do not fool yourself into thinking you're good at Smash. Just don't. It's like American Idol. Is where these people go to American Idol because their friends and family are like, "Oh yeah, you can sing really well. You should go try out." Then they go and they make a complete ass of themselves because they're just awful. Like that's how I feel about people that think they're good at Smash and go to tournaments when they haven't really bothered playing against anybody other than their small group of friends. Like I posted it on the Multitoad forums. I watched a video of a Ganondorf player, and he went to play Smash at a tournament, and he got bodied. It was so funny, and I felt so bad for him.
Wait, what was your relation to this man?
No relation. I just found the clip on YouTube.
You just found a clip on YouTube of some poor guy getting destroyed as Ganondorf? Was he cocky about it before he played?
No, it was pools, and it was pools in a bigger tournament. So,
so you're just laughing at this guy who got destroyed?
Well, when I work from a digital environment, and when there's downtime at work, I love to watch Smash videos. I watch Smash tournament videos, any kind of video. I'll type in Ganondorf Smash 4 match, and it came up. It had like 6,000 views. I'm not sure why it came up. It was like page 1 or 2, so I don't know why it was there. It didn't belong there. But it was some guy in pools playing as Ganondorf, and the commentators are like, "Oh, see, the scary thing about Ganondorf is that people who play Ganondorf, they're either amazingly good at the game or they're just complete garbage." And then the game proceeds to the Ganondorf getting completely destroyed. He got 2 stocked, and the other guy only took like 20%. It was just sad. Like, he was really bad. The fundamentals of the game even were not there. I can confidently say I was leagues better than him. I felt so sad for him, but I was looking at his face. He was like shaking his head. He was so defeated on the inside. If you want to see the video, go to multitoad.com. Check out those forums. Smash thread. I've got it all in there.
Have you posted it?
I did. You just don't read my post.
Well, then we're gonna find that, and we're gonna post it in the blog post that accompanies this for you guys to watch in case you want to see it. But yeah, I agree with the commentator you're talking about, because Ganondorf is he has such a high ceiling of potential because he's so deadly with his smashes. He can just finish you off so quickly, turn the tide, because other characters have to rack up a lot of damage on him and work hard.
Yeah.
And if you're playing against a character, or rather a player, who has a lot of skill and who's adept at punishing mistakes, then you're not going to have a good time.
Yeah, and I really like Ganondorf. Now
You're not gonna have a good time.
here's something that always kind of deters me from characters is that, especially being more casual. And like I said, I don't get the chance to practice a lot to become as good as I can with the game. In my defense, and then I see characters
You
like
mentioned that. You mentioned that a lot.
we do a stream, and I have to mention it a lot.
All right. Okay.
To let people know, like, hey, listen, I don't get a lot of practice with this game. Otherwise, I'd probably be better than you. So don't get full of yourself and start thinking, oh, Yogzula's not very good at Smash. I'm better than him. But listen, nerd, you're playing for like 10 hours a day. I play for 10 hours a month, if that. All right, kids. So you better keep that in mind next time you're talking shit. Next time you face me 1v1 online, because that's the nature of the game.
We do play a lot when we actually hang out in person because we just play marathon it like nonstop. But yeah, go ahead, go on. It's crazy.
And a lot of the time too is in that 2v2 setting though, where it's like, are you truly getting the best Smash practice in 2v2 timed mode with
No.
Yeah. So
but that's what we do because we like to play on the same team.
Right, yeah.
And so Nintendo robs us of the fun of doing that sometimes. But
that's why I wish they would change the damn For Glory mode to actually not be garbage. But what I was getting at was that when I see other people play a character that I like to play, like I like to play Donkey Kong. We had a guy roll up into our stream named Disco Bunny. This guy was a monster with Donkey Kong. And I'm just like, well, my Donkey Kong is shit compared to you. Now I don't even want to play Donkey Kong anymore. Like, you've ruined Donkey Kong for me by being so much better with Donkey Kong than I am. And then I'm interested in Ganondorf. I like to play him. Then we got another guy that rolls up in stream. His name's Liqui. And then we also got Zeke. And these guys are monsters with Ganondorf. And it makes me think, like, well, shit. Like, am I ever going to be as good at Ganondorf as Liqui is or as Zeke is? I don't know. Maybe, but damn if I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the best players are demoralizing because you just see them playing. You're like, I'm never going to get to that point. What am I even playing? I can't even win. You put it down.
Yeah, because then you say, like, yeah, well, I'm a Donkey Kong main. And then in the back of your head, you know, like, you're a damn embarrassment is what you are. Because you know that there's these guys that can say they're a Donkey Kong main, and they're a Donkey Kong main. They are Donkey Kong, and you have no right to call yourself a main of any character when there are so many people that are just so good with it. Like, I don't know. It demoralizes me, like you said. When I see something that's so and every character in Smash, there is somebody out there that is really good with that character. So you kind of just got to get over that and be like, whatever, I'll play the character because I like the way they control, even if I'm not going to be as good as other people with the character. But that's something I've always done in all kinds of games is I look for characters that are more unique that not a lot of people play, and I try to get really good with them because I find that that's more impressive than being good with Sheik, for instance. Like, if you're good with Sheik and you're winning with Sheik, people are like, yeah, whatever, you're Sheik. But if you're playing with Ganondorf and destroying with Ganondorf, people are like, holy shit, like, you're playing Ganondorf and you're destroying people. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think there's a reason to do it that maybe has a little bit less honor because you got like armor on, defending yourself against criticism because you're saying, well, I'm playing a really low tier character. That's why I'm not that great. Well, and people who play Sheik or really high tier characters or the characters that always win tournaments have a target on their backs and they're made fun of and ridiculed if they lose. Whereas if you play a cool character that nobody really plays very often, like Wario or something that, a character that plays very differently from everybody else, people look at you differently, and it's funny to see that. And I think that I've always judged you for that personally.
How? Why? You play Bowser.
So what?
You're doing the same thing.
But I'm not doing it for the reasons of, well, I want to look cool. I think you're doing that.
I said I'd like.
You don't
like
want people
play...
to be able to look at you and say you're bad at the game.
See,
you want to be able to say that I play bad characters. I'm not a bad player.
See, you're making assumptions. I said I like to play them because they're unique, not because they're bad, and not because I want this armor of losing and be like, well, I only lost because I'm low tier. That's the only reason you won is because I'm low tier. Sometimes I feel that way, and that's because that's a truth of the matter. If you're playing Ganondorf and you get bodied by a Sheik, obviously it's a very bad matchup. And that if you don't think that, and you think that was even, you won fair and square, there was no bias toward your character, this was completely even playing field, then you're delusional. The Ganondorf, and that is kind of, I mean, it's a bonus. It's not why I play the character, but it's a bonus. If you beat Sheik as Ganondorf, you're just like, damn, I am better than you at the game. I outplayed you. My character's worse. I overcame, and there's a satisfaction in that that's immense. it's so much more satisfying to kill a Sheik as Ganondorf than it would be to kill a Ganondorf as Sheik. If you're Sheik and you kill Ganondorf, it's like, yeah, whatever, it's what I was supposed to do. Like, my character is so much better than yours, and I beat you. That's how it was supposed to go down. But when you're a Sheik and you lose to Ganondorf, you should be sad. You should be like, damn, I messed up. I need to feel bad about myself. And you should. You should feel terrible. You should not be losing to Ganondorf as Sheik.
I think you're putting a lot of stress on yourself if you're playing the high tier character and you're not doing it often. Like, if you're not practicing enough that it looks like it's worth it that you're going for the high tier characters. To me, going a high tier character says that you're serious enough about the game that you want to win all the time and that you're going to play the game that way and that you're going to practice all the time. You're going to try and be the best, because if you're not, if you're trying to be the best, then you have to do that. You have to play a character that's going to give you the best chance to win. That's what Zero does. That's what all the people who win tournaments regularly do. You don't ever see them playing Bowser or someone who's terrible.
But there, at the same time, there are some incredibly talented players that don't play any of the top tiers. Like, there's Rio. It's Ryu, or I think it's Rio. He plays Ike. He's amazing as Ike. When I watch him play, the fundamentals of the way he plays, it is so good. Like, he is such a good player. And if he were to play Sheik or a top tier character, he could destroy people, but he just plays Ike. And he can go head to head, and he has. There are videos on YouTube of him playing against some big name players and taking games off of them, or taking probably some sets here and there. And it's super impressive. And it's weird to me that he would decide to stick with the lower tier as opposed to play something that's competitive. Like, if you decide to not play Sheik or Zero Suit Samus or Rosalina and Luma or Pikachu or Mario or Diddy or Sonic, then you're basically conceding that you're not going to be winning tournaments. Like, that's a decision that you're making, is you're deciding not to win tournaments by not playing a high enough tier character. And if you're going to be serious enough to go to tournaments and to get into the scene, it's confusing to me as to why you would spend your time doing that when you're never going to see the reward for it. Now, as somebody that's playing the Wii U in the comfort of your home, and you want to play King Dedede, you want to play Mewtwo, or whoever else, any of the low tier characters, whatever. You're not making an investment. You're not driving out to some venue to play a tournament, spend your whole day and your time just to ultimately fail, not because you're not skilled enough, but because you're not playing the character that can make it happen. It's like entering a horse race, going to the racetrack, and getting a fat jockey,
getting a
fat jockey and putting him in on the back of a donkey. Like, you're not going to win the race. Why are you bothering?
Right? Yeah, that horse had a little bit too much to eat. He's a little slower than the other ones, and that's why would you pick that horse?
And it might be that maybe you just have a lot of fun riding around fat horses. Like, maybe that's what it is. And if you think you have more fun riding fat horses than you would riding a fast horse that can win you the race, well, more power to you. Go ahead and keep doing it.
All right. Well, we've run out of time this week on this week's episode of the Let's Beat It Together podcast. But thank you so much for listening. Luke Yogzilla, thank you for joining us.
Shut the hell up.
Whoa, that's not necessary.
You always try to dismiss me as the guest on the show. I'm the host.
Special little guy.
I'm the host. And you'd like to try to take the reins here, and you'd like to try to do the intros and do the outros and say, hey there, Toads and Toadettes. Welcome to Let's Beat It Together, the podcast. It's me, John Jaguar, the special host.
And my little special guest, Luke Yogzilla. That's what the show is.
Yeah, I just let you get away with it. Okay?
All right.
But don't cross the line. Cross the
Okay.
line, we're gonna have to settle this match.
All right. Well, maybe we will have to do that. Next week, we're talking about Helldivers. All right. Keep on hopping.